The Birmingham Civil Rights Institute is charged with the idea of taking the lessons from the past and transferring them to our future.
As stewards of history in the Birmingham movement, the BCRI houses incredible collections that show and document where the community has come from and how the Birmingham movement both came to be and was so successful.
For more than 25 years, the Institute has educated people about what happened here in the 60s, not just in Birmingham, but across our country. Civil rights and equality challenged today just as they were many decades ago. We are here to enlighten each generation about civil and human rights by exploring our common past and working together in the present to build a better future.
Through many educational offerings, we teach the idea that the changes in Birmingham, Alabama were not just because of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King and Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth and Reverend Ralph Abernathy. A lot of these changes took place because of the youth in this city. And due to that, we have a mission to share with the youth of today what youth in their generations in the past have done. Through our Legacy Youth Leadership Program, we bring high school students from all over the Jefferson County area here to study this narrative and to serve as docents and ambassadors to the Civil Rights Institute. We have BCAP, which is the Birmingham Cultural Alliance Project, where we visit middle school students and we take them through this history and through this narrative so that they can prepare to understand their role in society. We have outreach programs that visit many schools and institutions to highlight the story of accomplishment, the story of overcoming, the story of a power and the movement that people in Birmingham were able to bring to bear to change not only the city, but the state, the nation, and the world.
By making it accessible to researchers and local students from middle, high, and university students, they're able to come in and see where we've been so that they can go and be better stewards of Birmingham and our present and then our future.
Thank you for joining us for this engaging virtual conversation series. We invite you to help us continue the work for civil rights through racial justice by becoming a member or donating to our work. You can find us on our social media platforms to stay connected with us. Thanks again for your support.
Next installment of Heritage Alive. Heritage Alive is the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute's early literacy program where we encourage young readers to have a lifelong love for reading. I am Charles Woods, the education programs manager and outreach coordinator here at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. And today we have a friend of the Institute that is here to read our book, The Empty Pot. This is Quang Do. Hi, Quang, how's it going?
It's going well. Thanks
Good.
for having me today.
Great. No, thank you for being with us. We really needed this, and I appreciate you answering this call. Really quickly, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and who you work for, and why you accepted the call today to read this book?
Yeah. So my name is Quang Do. I am currently a program officer at the Community Foundation of Greater Birmingham, working on equity and inclusion initiatives alongside my team. Previously to that, I have been a spoken word poet and really using poetry and the power of storytelling to really move the conversation forward in a lot of the ways that the videos leading up to this was talking about. And how do we help young people not only find their own voices, but be willing to create more voices in their own circles. And so when I got the opportunity to be a part of this conversation, I think you called me a friend of the BCRI, and I think a better way to say it would be just like a fanboy of the BCRI, and the work that y'all have done, and just how supportive y'all are. I was previously a coach with the Real Life Poets Youth Poetry Slam team, and we were lucky enough about 2 years ago to really allow our youth team to tell their stories and connect that to the BCRI. So I'm, I think with AAPI Heritage Month this month, I couldn't have said no. So I appreciate y'all doing this and inviting me.
Well, thank you again for being here. Shout out to Real Life Poets. We've done some work with them in the past. Always a great group, and so we appreciate them as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So we have Quang Do reading The Empty Pot. We'll let you have it. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. The Empty Pot. A long time ago in China, there was a boy named Ping who loved flowers. Anything he planted burst into bloom. Up came flowers, bushes, and even big fruit trees, as if by magic. Everyone in the kingdom loved flowers too. They planted them everywhere, and the air smelled like perfume. The emperor loved birds and animals, but flowers most of all, and he tended his own garden every day. But the emperor was very old. He needed to choose a successor to the throne. Who would his successor be? And how would the emperor choose? Because the emperor loved flowers so much, he decided to let the flowers choose. The next day, a proclamation was issued. All the children in the land were to come to the palace. There, they would be given special flower seeds by the emperor. Whoever can show me their best in a year's time, he said, will succeed me to the throne. This news created great excitement throughout the land. Children from all over the country swarmed to the palace to get their flower seeds. All the parents wanted their children to be chosen emperor, and all the children hoped they would be chosen too. When Ping received his seed from the emperor, he was the happiest child of all. He was sure he could grow the most beautiful flower. Ping filled a flower pot with rich soil. He planted the seed in it very carefully. He watered it every day. He couldn't wait to see it sprout, grow, and blossom into a beautiful flower. Day after day passed, but nothing grew in his pot. Ping was very worried. He put new soil into a bigger pot. Then he transferred the seed into the rich black soil. Another 2 months he waited. Still, nothing happened. By and by, the whole year passed. Spring came, and all the children put on their best clothes to greet the emperor. They rushed to the palace with their beautiful flowers, eagerly hoping to be chosen. Ping was ashamed of his empty pot. He thought the other children would laugh at him because for once he couldn't get a flower to grow. His clever friend ran by, holding a great big plant. Ping, he said. You're not really going to the emperor with an empty pot, are you? Couldn't you grow a great big flower like mine? I've grown lots of flowers better than yours, Ping said. It's just the seed that won't grow. Ping's father overheard this and said, You did your best, and your best is good enough to present to the emperor. Holding the empty pot in his hands, Ping went straight away to the palace. The emperor was looking at the flowers slowly, one by one. How beautiful all the flowers were, but the emperor was frowning and did not say a word. Finally, he came to Ping. Ping hung his head in shame, expecting to be punished. The emperor asked him, Why did you bring me an empty pot? Ping started to cry and replied, I planted the seed you gave me and I watered it every day, but it didn't sprout. I put it in a better pot with better soil, but still it didn't sprout. I tended it all year long, but nothing grew. So today I had to bring an empty pot without a flower. It was the best I could do. When the emperor heard these words, a smile slowly spread over his face, and he put his arm around Ping. Then he exclaimed to one and all, I have found him. I have found the one person worthy of being emperor. Where you got your seeds from, I do not know, for the seeds I gave you had all been cooked, so it was impossible for any of them to grow. I admire Ping's great courage to appear before me with the empty truth, and now I reward him with my entire kingdom and make him emperor of all the land. So that was a really great story, and I think everyone who reads Empty Pot can get a different feeling or takeaway from it. And I think that's really the power of a lot of Demi's writings.
Yeah, I think it's great. A message of being doing your best, being truthful and honest with whatever the results are, even though you did your best and you did everything that you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, all the other children went and found some seeds from somewhere else, right, and made those plants grow and try and bring them to the emperor. But a wonderful story, and I thank you again for reading it for us. Now, if you want, you may have a special treat for us, and then we'll end with that. But I just want to say thank you again for doing this reading for us, and maybe we can collaborate some more in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I actually, as I was reading this, I have one poem. I wrote it a long time ago, and I said, once I find the answer to this question that the poem is talking about, I'll stop doing it. It's been a long time, and I still haven't found the answer to it. And I think it's relevant to the story because it has a lot to do with just being honest, even if sometimes it means you're not getting the result that you want. So I apologize. It's been a while if I messed this poem up. I've always been someone who would constantly check and wonder where his heart's at. But lately, everyone's been calling me this man thing. I look into the mirror, and that reflection doesn't even like to look back. The only thing that's ever been right in my life is Danny. At 18, his mind is as open as the lashes on his body from the beatdowns my dad would sometimes hand down from me to him like an old pair of blue jeans. But despite all of the battery and beatings, he still believes that Dad's words hold stronger than the whips across our chests, and bruises have always been just another playground war story for him. He's my backbone, the reason I stand up every night after those rough edge nights and those fist fights with my father. So when once a week, every week, I find myself wanting to give up, I bite my tongue till it cuts to remind myself that in this world, I bleed for more than myself. He calls me his superhero. So I loosen this kryptonite around my neck like the sun pulling itself away from the moon just to rise again and kiss the sea good morning. And no, I have never been like Superman or Clark Kent. I'm more like Icarus flying away from Crete. I touch the sun to my lips and I crash, going deeper in the earth than the dreams I buried in the wakes of my failure. So now it doesn't matter how much I dig, there's no way I can ever break sea level. But Danny, I hope you will never know what this feeling is like. On a 14-hour plane ride, 4 days after my 18th birthday and 30 before I move off to college, he asks me, Quan, what is this man thing? What does it take to be a man? Because when you move off to college, I don't know what I'll have to do to be one. And I brushed that question off my shoulder like my mother's advice, hoping that it would come again. But you never asked me again. So now I write this poem to give to you, Danny. Like I'm naked and tied to a rock with Apollo whipping diagonals across my chest, telling me to spit the truth, like help ease the pains of you wanting it. So hear this. I can't tell you how to be a man because I don't know how to be one myself. But I'll tell you what they won't. They won't tell you that in order to find yourself, you have to lose yourself first. So don't be afraid to get lost between these words I am writing you. My fingertips are like Braille. They only know what they feel. So this poem is written in love, Danny, something you haven't learned yet. So fall in love. Fall in love so hard you bruise your knees and ego upon landing so you'll never forget how it feels to. And hold your heart high amidst the world. The poets in the street, they are murdering for the rhythms of which you walk, Danny. And I hope you know this more than anything else. You are more of a man than I can ever hope to become. And I know that each and every time you look into that mirror, your reflection will always look back at you. That's it. Thank you all so much.
Wow, man, that was powerful. My computer started acting funny towards the end, but that was amazing. And we just want to thank you again, Quan, for doing this with us, and hope that the public will continue to tune in to our monthly Heritage Alive series for young readers and young students, and then also all of our other virtual programming with the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. So thank y'all again. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.